train in my sleep, and they call me crazy. Because I can lucidly dream, because I can control my dreams. I train in my dreams. I convince my mind that I've trained.
I don't know if it's true.
You've probably seen, or at least heard of this guy, Andrew Tate. Ripped, shaved head, cigar in hand, giving advice on money, women, how to be a man, and he's online everywhere, even after getting banned everywhere. And whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny he's in pretty good shape. But here's the question. Should you actually take fitness advice from him? Because the way he eats and trains, let's just say, is different to how people have been advised otherwise.
Emery Andrew Tate III, born December 14, 1986, is an American-British social media influencer and former professional kickboxer. I know you probably have doubts believing this, but Tate claims he has lucid dreams and does his workout in them.
Train in my sleep, and they call me crazy. Because I can lucidly dream, because I can control my dreams. I train in my dreams. I convince my mind that I've trained.
If it's true.
He claims that he can lucid dreams to convince his mind that he's trained, and I don't know what he's doing that for, whether that is like a motivation thing to keep him going, or whether he believes that the lucid dream actually burns calories, but that's just complete nonsense if he thinks he's burned calories and he's going to get bigger. So there's that.
Now, according to Andrew, he doesn't like the gym and does not usually work out in one. He has bad memories of going to the gym because when he was fighting professionally, he was forced to go to one every day. However, he does understand how important it is to stay strong and in good shape. That's why he created his own fitness program with equipment that costs only $50. Most of his workout contains burpees, push-ups, and jumps. Life as a kickboxer. Andrew,
if you want to look like Andrew Tate and you want to do push-ups, burpees, jumps, shadow boxing, it's not going to work. It will give you some metabolic stress, and they can build muscles in beginners, but in trained lifters, you need progressive overload with sufficient load. So not doing a structured resistance training program is not going to get you looking like Andrew Tate. And then you could argue with me and say, well, he looks like that, but he's just said in the video that he used to go to the gym every single day, and he doesn't do that anymore. So it's essentially what he's doing is maintaining what he built before. If you want to get the base that Andrew Tate has now, then you need to progressively overload. You need to train 3 days per week, heavy sets, relative, 10 to 20 sets per week, close to failure, proper recovery, enough protein, all that good stuff. It's very, very likely that his muscle maintenance will be more from genetics, past training, muscle memory, his conditioning from previously, and he looks the way he does because of his lowish body fat. It's not because of the exercises that he does now. And this is backed up by science as well. Schoenfeld, the mechanisms of muscle hypertrophy and the application to resistance training. It shows that hypertrophy is maximized when training involves mechanical tension, muscle damage and metabolic stress. The pure calisthenics without overload caps will mean that you will be able to adapt pretty quickly and won't be able to adapt further after that. So not great for muscle growth.
Andrew Tate kept things quite simple when he was a fighter. He would run in the morning, practice some shadow boxing, kill some burpees, and finish with push-ups. He would also use light dumbbells and a weighted vest to add resistance to the moves he does. I know what you're thinking. Is that all? That's not much. Even if it might not seem like it, it helped Andrew a lot. Tate went on to win 4 world championships in kickboxing by doing these core exercises. In fact, you don't need a lot of fancy tools to build a fit and strong body. I know you're curious about his diet, right? Does he eat while he's dreaming?
It is true, again, that you can build a Tate-level physique by doing lots of cardio, which will have lower body fat percentage. You don't need to necessarily go to the gym to look like him, although you get there quicker. And shadow boxing and burpees is more directed to his specific goal of kickboxing, and that's fine. It seems that his training is more directed to fitness, VO2 max adaptations. They might improve his lactate threshold, it might improve his conditioning, which is more critical for fighters. If he's going to do weighted vests and high rep calisthenics, that's going to give him more muscle endurance more than just pure hypertrophy. And He's clearly got some muscles, but again, low body fat percentage will show that more. And there is some science backing it up as well. So there's a 2007 study that showed that endurance work, like body weight conditioning, running, drives the VO2 max improvements and performance. And that burpees and jump circuits mimic high intensity interval training, which is highly effective for aerobic and anaerobic capacity, not hypertrophy. So again, it's more directed to burning calories rather than building muscle, which is fine. Just use it for your goals. Don't expect to be absolutely Jack Swellington and do burpees. Just saying.
If he could give some advice, Tate would probably say, if you cut sugar off your diet and eat everything else, you're going to be fine. One thing we found quite interesting is when he tried a carnivore diet. Andrew says you definitely have to try this. It's basically living on 85 to 90% of what you eat has to be meat. It's all meat, meat, meat. No rice, no pasta, no big plates of chips or any carbs like that. Just meat, and you can eat as much meat as you want. He felt two amazing changes after trying this diet. The first thing he noticed is that he starts to lose body fat. He was always in good shape, but now it looked like his six-pack really came out, and it felt amazing. The next thing he felt was his energy. Tate felt...
So Andrew Tate apparently does carnivore and eats once per day. And he's claimed that he's lost body fat, he's got more energy, and he's got less brain fog. And that probably does ring true. The reason is not because of that particular diet or eating meat is more masculine and he therefore is more masculine. It's because he's in a calorie deficit, and that's literally it. When we talk about OMAD, 1 meal a day, and he thinks that that benefits him, the reverse is actually true. So there was a study done in 2024, so not that long ago, that showed that athletes on carnivore diet, did the carnivore diet, just eating purely animal products, had impaired performance, and that adding a little bit of carbs back into the diet around post workout actually improved the performance of those athletes. And the reason for that is that carbs are the primary source of fuel for the body, especially the higher intensity activity. So that means that having no carbs can be detrimental to your performance when you're working out, training. So this meat heavy diet might cut fat short term, but it's going to affect your performance, especially if you want to get bigger. If you want to get fitter and you want to go for longer, not ideal. On top of that, when we talk about OMAD, 1 meal a day, there's a 2021 study that reviewed this and found that the muscle protein synthesis, i.e. building muscle, is limited when it's only 1 meal per day. There's two reasons for that. Number one, not getting enough protein. If Andrew Tate is, say, 200 pounds, he's going to have to eat a lot of freaking steak to get that 200 grams of protein, which was going to be ideal for building, maintaining muscle-ish. And number two, muscle protein synthesis goes up and down throughout the day, which means that more frequent feedings of protein is going to keep muscle protein synthesis elevated. If you only have that elevated after 1 meal, and once it's been digested, and then it turns off, you are effectively catabolic. So you potentially could lose muscle by eating OMAD even whilst getting all of the macronutrients in. And that's just the way it is. I don't argue with me, argue with science.
Supplements. That's one subject we can quickly skip over. Andrew claims he never uses steroids, protein powders, or supplements. Mental health.
Probably true. I mean, he's not super massive, so his physique is more than achievable at not using performance enhancing drugs. But to say that he doesn't use supplements would be a slight deviation from the truth, because he absolutely pounds caffeine and nicotine, which are legal, but they're still supplements and they're still performance enhancers. So I've seen another video where Andrew Tate claims that he drinks 10 to 15 coffees per day and smokes 2 to 3 cigars per day as well. And that will help him with his diet and his OMAD, because that's going to be an appetite suppressant. It's going to give him the nicotine and the caffeine as stimulants, which might give him extra, not artificial energy, but more energy that way. And it's going to help increase that satiety, because that's backed up by science as well. There was a 1998 study done that confirmed that caffeine actually reduces appetite and increases satiety, and nicotine does the same thing. This was a 2011 study and found that nicotine strongly suppresses appetite when it's combined with caffeine, the effect is amplified. So he does use supplements, not the illegal ones. It's useful for him, it suppresses his appetite. It's probably not the healthiest thing to have 10 to 15 coffees per day, depending on how strong they are, whether they're decaf or not, but there you go.
This caught our attention, and this is something that became a lifestyle for Andrew: lucid dreaming. Tate is a big fan of that, and
I'm going to skip over this because this is complete bullshit. I've already addressed this. So if you want to think that you can work out and lucid dream and then you'll be absolutely dick skin shredded, fine, you go do that. I'm not talking about that one anymore. That's bullshit. But what I will address is why Andrew Tate looks so muscular despite everything that he does. And the reason is because he's got a fighter's body. He's very, very tall, he's lean, he's functional, and he's not built via bodybuilding. His past training, being a kickboxer, has built him that base of muscle. So he stays lean, he's got a protein-heavy diet, and that keeps his muscle visible. His training is keeping him conditioned, but not necessarily getting him bigger. So if you want to replicate or want to look like Andrew Tate, and you don't have that base of muscle, you are going to need to go to the gym. You're going to have to go be Andrew Tate when he was 20 and go to the gym every single day like he said he did, to then get to 30 odd like he is now, and then you can maintain that. The bottom line is, Andrew Tate's training is absolutely brilliant for conditioning. He's VO2 max, so he's probably going to live longer, and fight performance, which I don't think he does anymore, but push comes to shove, he probably could do. It's not optimal for hypertrophy, and the science has proven that. You need progressive resistance for maximum muscle growth. What he does is more about endurance, the energy system development and calorie burn, not about packing on size. So if you wanted to do Andrew Tate's routine, I wouldn't recommend it, but you are not going to look like Andrew Tate. Let's just leave it as that. If you do want to know what works, and if you've already got that base of muscle and you don't want to do the carnivore diet, want to lose fat, watch that video there and I'll walk you through the whole thing step by step. See you in the next one.